Hey Taurus, welcome to your reading. This is for early April. You guys are doing well. What we have for Taurus, beginning of April. Big lessons though, but the thing about whenever you go through a cycle, whenever you're done with a cycle, it does take some time to recover from that. Seems like that's what's going on right now. You know, whenever you are in a race, let's just use that as an example, and you push super hard to get to the finish line, you don't necessarily win, but you're thankful that it's done. The thing is, you don't realize how much recovery you need after that, especially if it's a marathon. And I feel like that's what's going on right now. It does take some time to recover from that marathon. As far as emotionally, you are really exhausted. I think that it was a lot of emotional turmoil that you went through. And in order for you to regain your emotional stability, it does take time. There was a lot of learning that came from that, but also a lot of unlearning that you needed to do in order to move forward and evolve. Some of the things that have worked for you in the past no longer work. And you had to adjust to that sort of relearning. It's a lot of acceptance too. And although that was done successfully, it's almost like it was forged with fire, you know. There was whenever you see a blacksmith crafting some sort of weapon, I mean, it goes through heating, cooling. And I think that's what really happened there. But at the end of the day, it does make for a great weapon. It does provide you with something that you can protect yourself with and that you can rely upon. You trust yourself a lot more now. I think that you still have the tendency to, because the thing is, we have certain expectations, certain dreams, illusions, things like that. Although that still goes on, it's about understanding where that got us before. What happened when we put ourselves in that situation? We learn this time around. We're no longer willing to stay making the same mistakes over and over and over. I think that you do, because there is desire here though. But there is also a wound. Because the thing is, no matter how much you want something, or something to be a certain way, getting beat up over and over and over puts you in a place of, I want to call fear, but it's more so being able to set certain boundaries. Much like how, and I'm going to use this as an example. You know those fences that it's not even fence, but anyway, it's one of those invisible fences that you put in your backyard, and then you put a collar on your dog, and your dog knows not to go past a certain point even though the fence is not there, because it gets shocked. Kind of like that. By no means I'm not calling you a dog, but I feel that even without the fence, you know, so you're holding yourself back. That's what we call, well, learning from mistakes, yes, but really trusting that those lessons that you have encountered before, and by the way, it wasn't a few, it was a lot of them. A lot of situations that just left you in a place of lack emotionally. No matter how much you gave, it just wasn't enough. And even when it wasn't enough, you gave more on top of that. And that is exhausting. So for you to not be in that situation again, you just really putting yourself back and I want to call PTSD, but you know, even if it's called that, I think it's positive. It doesn't feel like it's a negative thing. However, the desire is still there. So what to do? It's about understanding that there's always going to be the possibility of that. But as long as you, and the thing is, like, you can't really, I mean, you can, but you kind of cheat yourself off of things that you really don't, or situations that you really don't know how they would be unless you experience them. Now, if there is a repeat of the same pattern of disappointment that you have encountered over and over and over, then it's about stopping it when you see it happen. But it has to have a balance between both. You can't shut part of yourself off just because you're trying to prevent yourself from being disappointed. Again, there is free will, but different aspects of life, that's what makes life life. And by removing certain aspects, you still have a life, but it just doesn't, it feels incomplete. The advice is be on the now. Take one step after the other. And if you start to see that the more you move forward, the more you start to not be able to see your steps, that's when you have to turn around and go back to the light. But at least don't stop walking, because that just puts you in a stagnant position without forward movement. Okay? That's what I have, Taurus. If it resonated, like, share, subscribe. And if you want a personal, the link's down below. Good luck, guys.